Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now, today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the spring green table runner. It's really fun, and of course, you can see it is a filet style repeat. Filet crochet patterns have become one of my favorite ways of designing. And what that means is you form open spaces that form shapes. And they can be in any shape. Now today I tried to make it look like a clover, a 3-leaf shamrock. But of course, it doesn't really look like that. It's just what I would call an abstract. And I wanted this for my dining room table. And so it measures 8 inches across, and this one is about 37 inches long, but you can see they're repeats, and you can do the repeats for as long as you want. If you have a really long dining room table, you can do a lot of repeats. If you just want it for, say, the top of your dresser, you don't have to do as many repeats. It's a really fun and easy pattern. It's a great take-along pattern if you just want something to take along with you and make something pretty. All right? Now, you can find the complete pattern on my blog with lots of pictures, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. All right, so let's talk about yarn. The yarn that I use to design this table runner is Premier Sweet Roll, and the color is called Wasabi Pop. And it's so pretty. It's not a solid. Each of the colors, because it's a long striping yarn, you can see, especially in this one, it's a little bit variegated. This bright green has little spots of brown in it, and this sort of muted green has little spots of brown and bright green. And the darker one also has little spots of green in it. And so I really love it. The 3 different shades of green on this Wasabi Pop Premier Sweet Roll. Now, I did mine in green. You can use any colors that you want to, and there are a lot of beautiful colors with the Premier Sweet Roll. They have the bright colors, they have lots of pastels, and just lots of different colors that would go with any of your decorating needs. You only need one of these. It takes 5 ounces, and that's what's on here is 5 ounces. Now, this is a medium weight number 4. For today's demonstration, since I just had the one roll, I'm going to be using this yarn. I love this yarn. The color is mid green, and it is also a medium weight number 4. So what that tells you is any medium weight number 4 yarn will work. This would be beautiful in some of the green ombres, or even any of the other ombre colors, and of course solid as well. But I'm using this just for the demonstration, for the demo, for the swatch. Okay, so any medium weight number 4 yarn will work. You can even use cotton if you prefer. All right, so we stitched with an eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Then you just need a needle to weave in those ends and a pair of scissors. So this table runner pattern is super easy. It's just all double crochets and chain 1 spaces. All right, and I think you're really going to enjoy making this project. So we're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 27 chains. And I do recommend, as always, you stitch your beginning chain just a little bit loose. You don't want the end of your table runner to pucker up on you, okay? So I'm going to stitch 27 chains. I have chained 27 chains just a little bit loose. And we're going to start by placing a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll stitch 1 double crochet in each of those remaining chains across. 1 double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across. We began in the 4th chain from the hook and stitched 1 double crochet in each of our chains across. We do count this chain 3 that we skipped as our first stitch, and so you're going to have 25 double crochets. We're going to chain 4. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. We're going to turn our work. We're going to skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next and chain 1. Then we'll skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next. And this is our open row that we're working on. And we're alternating chain 1, skip 1, and double crochets across. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet across. And we'll do this all the way across this row. And we'll have those open chain 1 spaces all the way across. We started with the chain 4, which counted as a double crochet, chain 1, and then we skipped the next double crochet. Double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, all the way across, and we end with a double crochet in our last stitch. And you can see those chain 1 spaces across. All right, so now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. We're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then double crochet in the double crochet. Double crochet in the chain 1 space, and double crochet in the double crochet. And we'll do this all the way across, so we'll again have 25 double crochets and a solid row of double crochets. One double crochet in each chain 1 space and double crochet all the way across. So for row 3, we double crocheted in each of the double crochets and chain 1 spaces, and when you get to the end, that's a chain 4. So we double crochet in that space, and then we make sure that we double crochet in the 3rd chain of that chain 4, because we need to keep our stitches at 25 double crochets, or the pattern won't work out. And that's one of the main things in doing a filet pattern, is that you need to make sure that your counts are right on every row. All right, so now we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and so we're going to double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so because our chain 3 counted as 1 and we stitched 4, we have 5 double crochets. All right, now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then double crochet in the next. Then we'll chain 2, 1 and 2, we'll skip 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see we've made our 2 bottom petals of our first little shamrock. All right, so now we're going to chain 2, we're going to skip 2 and double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, and then we'll double crochet in these last 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll chain 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll have a quick look at it so you can kind of see how it's supposed to look. So we have 5 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 5 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, and then end with 5 double crochets. And that is the way that row 4 should stitch up. All right, we're ready for row 5. We've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to place 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. So 1 and 2. All right, so that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 2 double crochets in this next chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Oops, there we go. Now we're going to double crochet in these 5 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. You can see here now, because we chained 2 and we only skipped the 1 double crochet, okay, this forms our little clover or shamrock. So now we're going to do that over here. 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. We're going to chain 2 and 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Oops, get in there. All right, now we're going to double crochet in those last 5 double crochet stitches. And chain 3. All right, now I just want to remind you that in these 2 chain 2 spaces, we only skipped that 1 double crochet. All right, and this is the way that row 5 should stitch up. All right, we chain 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to double crochet in that next double crochet stitch, and then we'll double crochet to that first chain 2 space. All right, so we have our chain 3 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives us 7 double crochets. So that brings us to this chain 2 space. We're only going to stitch 1 double crochet in there. All right, because we don't want to get our count off, and we chained 2 because we wanted it to be more visible. If we would have only chained 1, it would be like a tiny little petal on the top. So we wanted it to be big, and now we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in that one, and we'll do the same thing on this one. All right, so now we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Whoops, get in there. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, and then double crochet in the next 2. 1 and 2. And you can see that makes the 2 bottom petals like we did down here. All right, then we'll double crochet 1 time in that chain 2 space, and then double crochet in those last stitches. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And chain 3. And so On row 6, you can see those 2 bottom petals just like we did down here. All right, let's do row 7. Double crochet in the next, and we're going to double crochet across. Whoops. Get some more yarn out here. So we're going to double crochet across till we reach that chain 2 space. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip that double crochet and stitch 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. And so we're going to do this one the same way we did these 2. All right, and so now we're just going to double crochet in each of those double crochets across. This is how your table runner should look at row 7. We have 12 double crochets, chain 2, and 12 double crochets. And so what we're going to do is we're going to stitch a double crochet in each, 1 double crochet in that chain 2 space, and then 1 double crochet in each. And that will get us back to 25 double crochets. So I chain 3 and turn and just start my double crochets across. And like I said, that top chain 2 on each of those 3 sets of clovers, it's very important that you only stitch 1 double crochet in that chain 2 space. We want to keep our count so that every row totals out to 25. And I realize on those rows you have an extra chain 1 in there, but that's just so that we can see the top petal of that clover. So 1 double crochet in each, 1 in the chain 2 space, 1 double crochet in each, all the way across. I have now completed row 8. Solid row of double crochets, and I have 25 double crochets. And remember, on the 3 chain 2 spaces at the top of our clover, we're only stitching 1 double crochet. All right? And you need to make sure that you keep your stitch at 25 double crochets. And then on this row, we chained 4, because now you're going to do another row like this one that we did down here. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat row 2 through row 8 7 more times. All right? And that's going to get you that table runner that is about 37 inches long. And each of these repeats is approximately 5 inches. And then after we do our 7 repeats, we're going to make sure the other end looks like this with another row of the open and a row of double crochets. All right, so we're going to repeat row 2 through row 8 7 more times, or more if you want a longer table runner, or less if you have a shorter table. So here is my actual table runner. Here's our first one, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 repeats. So that gives me 8 repeats. And then that brings us to a solid row of double crochets. All right. And so we want to do another row of the open work and then another row of double crochets in order for the 2 ends to look similar. So when you've done as many repeats as you would like for the length of table that you're making yours for, we end with this solid row of double crochets. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this row where we did our open. So we chained 4, turn our work, Remember, it counts as a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next, and repeat this all the way across. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, just like we've been doing in our repeats. All right, and so we'll just do that all the way across, just like we've been doing down here in our repeats. All right, so we did our chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, all the way across. And so now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in the double crochet, all the way across, just like we did on these previous rows. And this will give us a row of double crochet that will look just like this where we started, with a solid row of double crochet. So 1 double crochet in each of the chain 1 spaces and each of the double crochets all the way across. So I completed that row across, and we're all done. So I'm going to cut my yarn, tie that off, and go ahead and weave both my ends in. A nice and tidy table runner. And although we're doing, the filet style, it is really a very easy pattern. If you can do a double crochet and a chain 1 space, you can do this pattern. So now my spring green table runner is all finished, and I absolutely love the way that the colors flowed from these deep greens to this sort of sagey green, and then this bright green. So we've got all shades of green for our spring green table runner.